can put one more up.
That didn't help at all. Whatever. That'd be fine.
You gonna be alright?
Yeah, that's better anyway. It's exactly the same, but okay.
Alright.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Small window, all of this.
Good, because I like to look at myself.
Put this over here.
Alright.
And small window this. And go right here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. What? Oh,
No.
no, I'm blocking you.
No, it's fine. I don't care.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I'll take this and put this over here. Okay. Alright, so talk interference sports, number 3. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Feeling pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling good too. We had a crazy week in football.
Yeah, we did.
A crazy week in football. Man, what was the craziest thing that you think? I think, to me, Buffalo coming in and just destroying Minnesota.
That was pretty crazy, and also Monday Night Football.
Okay.
That was...
What was crazy to you about that?
I mean, by the end of the game, Fitzpatrick had what? Well over 300 yards passing. I mean, he had a pretty good game.
He had over 400 yards
400
passing
yards.
again.
But that stat, to me, didn't really reflect... I didn't think he had a very good game. And
Really?
I thought that was surprising.
I thought he had one bad half and one bad half, and after going back and watching the replay, after I'd watched it again, the interceptions that he had that were during that half,
right?
Most of them were on the receivers not being able to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, maybe I'm mistaken because I did fall asleep at halftime.
Okay.
I watched the first half and a little bit of the third, and then I was
the second half. The second half, I felt he came back pretty strong, and I felt he came back trying to win that fucking starting job. Yeah. Because Jameis Winston's coming back. He came back to practice today.
Oh, he did?
Right? Yeah, Jameis Winston came back to practice today, or it was either yesterday or today. I can't remember, but it was either yesterday or today. And so now they're fighting for a starting job.
Oh, I did not know that.
Do you think Jameis Winston should have it, or do you think Fitzpatrick should have it after the first 3 weeks?
After the first 3 weeks? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to argue with what Fitzpatrick has done in the first 3 weeks. I mean, out of the 2.5 games that I watched, he did a real good job.
I thought he did excellent.
But you also have to look at his, you can't ignore his previous record too, where he's started off really strong and looked great, and then just kind of...
Yards-wise, he's the best quarterback in the league right now. He's had 3 400 game for passing yards. Patrick Mahomes is the only other guy right now that has more touchdowns than him as well.
Yeah, didn't he just set a league record?
First 3 weeks.
First 3 games for having the most touchdown passes or something like that?
He threw 4 in the first one, 4 in the second one, which is 8, and then I think he threw 3 in the third game.
Really? Because I thought he was over a dozen now.
I think he might be. We can next-gen stat that. I'm pretty sure he has 11. It might be 12, maybe 13. Let's next-gen stat that. Fastest ball carriers. What? Got here. I don't know. So do you think that Fitzpatrick should have the starting job? Or do you think that Jameis Winston should have it? I mean, the guy didn't have a great season last year, Jameis Winston.
And one bad half of football isn't, in my mind, that shouldn't take away your job.
I don't think it should take away your job, but Fitzpatrick definitely has a habit of being Fitzpatrick, of not being this quarterback who he's playing as right now.
Right, it's kind of like Phillip Rivers. Like there's September Phillip Rivers and there's November Phillip Rivers.
I hear that totally. It's just to me, you don't stop.
But you're 2-1, so
they came back. They came back in the second half to almost beat the Steelers. Like, it was a close game.
That's true, but I mean, you still have to look at the record. And what I'm saying is that record so far is showing me that what they're doing is working.
And it works better than what
working,
then
don't change it.
And I totally agree with you. What Fitzpatrick is doing right now in Tampa, it is phenomenal. It's great. And I think you keep Fitzpatrick in there until he's either hurt or he starts playing like Fitzpatrick of old.
Right.
Because this guy definitely was fighting for a job, a starting job. Not that he won't have a backup job because it's Fitzpatrick.
Right. I mean,
Go ahead.
All right, I gotta screw with this. This is irritating to me.
I don't know why we can't get this right.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Anyway, how's everybody doing? Yo, the Hawks suck my ass. That's terrible, man. That is terrible. What are you, a Broncos fan there now? Because you live in Denver? Huh? You gonna tell me?
There. Alright, I think we're squared away now.
Along with being a crazy week in football, how about the Browns?
The Browns,
yo. I know the hype has died down because it was on Thursday Night Football, but I'm still pumped about it.
I don't think it has.
I'm still happy about it. I'm excited. The Browns won.
And
I thought they could.
Yeah, we both did.
Thought they could.
I was listening to KSW this morning, and they were talking about this guy. This is how crazy it is in Cleveland right now. Some guy he got that play where Mayfield caught the touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Tattooed on his arm.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I haven't seen a picture of it, so I don't know if it's just like X's and O's or if it's like, like a portrait of Mayfield, like,
Okay.
I don't know. But, I mean...
That's pretty insane,
That's
man.
Dedication, man.
That's super dedication. That is crazy, man. I can get down with that. Not that I'd ever tattoo Baker Mayfield on me, but...
Not after, half a game?
Yeah, it was half a game.
Yeah, because Tyrod Taylor started and then got injured.
Yep. Yeah, this week will be Baker Mayfield's first starting week. How do you feel about that going into next week? Do you think... who do they play? Let's look
like I was just saying with Fitzpatrick, half a game isn't going to determine your NFL
job.
career or your job, but I'm excited to see what he can do with a full game.
Cleveland's going into Oakland.
Ooh.
That'll be interesting. I'm kind of excited about this.
That's going to be a good game.
See how Baker Mayfield does. I'm pretty excited about it. All I have to say is Broncos fans 43-8. That's right. Super Bowl, go Seahawks. But
that was a good game.
But yeah. So I mean, I'm excited to see how the guy does. I hope the Browns come out here and just under 500 would be awesome for them. I think maybe leaving out with 4 or 5 wins might even be a phenomenal season for the Browns at this point. But
well, yeah, I mean, considering you're just coming off a season where they didn't win a game,
right?
So yeah, literally anything is better than that.
I totally agree with you, man. There's no way you can't keep
my man.
You can't. Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit for the Browns
when you start at the bottom.
Drake said it best. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
started from the bottom. Now we're here.
I don't understand that reference. But.
I'm excited for this. I'm really stoked that the Browns finally got their win. You did. Get with me, and we'll link up, and maybe we can do this again next week. For sure, but I'm excited for the Browns, man. I'm excited. I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl contending team by any stretch of the imagination. Let's not. They probably won't even make the playoffs.
Probably not.
But it's exciting to see.
Maybe in a couple of years.
Maybe in a couple of years. Yeah, this rebuilding that has happened. Is definitely one to.
It's going to be fun to watch.
It's definitely fun to watch.
And watching Carlos Hyde carry the ball, and
he runs it great.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, for running back age, he's older. I mean, he's 28, 29 now.
I think so.
So, but I mean, he was still averaging like 6 yards a carry or
and
a little bit more.
And that's not terrible.
No, that's pretty good.
That's great. That's good for,
And that, oh, goddamn, what was his name? Landry.
For Indianapolis?
No, for the Browns.
For the Browns. Oh, yeah. Okay,
He had some
good,
awesome catches.
Yeah, he's got some hands,
man.
And I'm down with that. Yeah, down with that. That's awesome, man. So, yeah, crazy week in football. I was really excited about it. The Patriots looked like trash against Detroit.
Yeah.
They looked horrible. What's your take on the Patriots this year? This was the first time in, I think, 3 or 4 years. I don't remember what I read it was. It was either 3 or 4 years, less than 5, but more than 2, that they have had back-to-back losses.
Didn't they have back-to-back losses last year?
I don't think so.
Didn't they start 1-2 or something?
I don't think so. And if that was the case, they won one or lost one, won one, lost one.
Oh.
Because I read online this week that this was the first time that they've had back-to-back losses in quite a while. And that was really impressive to me, and a cornerstone of how great the Patriots really are as an organization. As much as I hate them, but it really is a tribute to that.
Well, I mean, whether you like him or not, when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, you can get away with a lot of stuff.
And I think that time has run out for them.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's 42 years old.
After watching them, and it might have just been, honestly, Matt Patricia knows that team so well that he was able to carve it up. But they looked pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it's hard to really peg the Patriots. Like, are they? Sometimes it looks like they're like, they're not so good, and then they end up going to the freaking Super Bowl. How the hell did that happen?
Oh man, I don't know. I
hope that's not the case because, I don't like him.
I don't like him either.
So,
never been really a big fan of him, but you can't
they
take
beat
away
the Seahawks, or the Seahawks beat themselves.
You can't take away from the greatness that is that they have.
I
mean, it's all
Tom
on
Brady,
paper right
you
there.
have Gronkowski and
they're when does Edelman come back?
He should be. No, it'll be after this week. It'll be week 5.
Okay.
I think he had a 4-game suspension.
When Edelman comes back, and I think Josh Gordon's supposed to be playing this week, because he didn't play last week because of that injury that he had while he was doing that photo shoot.
Yeah, I don't know. The last I heard about Josh Gordon?
Yeah, Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. So John. Was the last news I heard of him was the trade.
Right.
So,
I have Bell, but considering trading Hopkins for Connor. Have a feeling Bell is going to be traded, so also have Fuller. Your thoughts on I also have Le'Veon Bell in my fantasy league. My thoughts is depending on your record, if you have a winning record after week 3 and you have Le'Veon Bell collecting dust, I think you trade him. I think you trade him because your team's well enough off without him that you can trade him for value. Because I think he's going to be out this week, and I think he'll be back next week. Maybe not in a Steelers uniform, maybe in another uniform, but I think he'll be back next week. Maybe in a Steelers uniform, but regarding that, if he goes to a team like the Jets, I wouldn't want him plugged into the Jets offense because I don't know how he's going to fit fantasy-wise in that type of situation. Because I don't believe in Sam Darnold, and the reason why I bring up the Jets is because they're talking about trading him to the Jets right now. The Jets have expressed much interest in him. But if he gets plugged into that situation, I don't know that you keep Le'Veon Bell before he goes to that trade. I would Hopkins for Connor. Depending on whether or not he gets traded, that would be a good trade for you. Connor isn't a terrible running back, and I feel like he's plugged into the system as well as he can, not being Le'Veon Bell, if that makes sense. So, DeAndre Hopkins is an amazing wide receiver, but let's take into the account that he has to catch balls from Deshaun Watson. So, I mean, that's just my opinion on that one. I don't know. I have him in my fantasy league, and I'm trying to trade him off. I'm trying to get some stock value for him because he is a valuable player. And that's just how I feel about that. Our picks were garbage last week, bro. Our picks were bad. We went 8-9, both of us.
Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I feel like this week's going to be a little bit different for us. I felt like there was quite a bit of upsets. I feel like we'll be able to bounce back from this.
I hope so, because being under 500
is not pretty.
I don't want to follow suit with the Mariners.
Damn, taking shots, bro. I like it.
It's still true. So.
It is still true. It is pretty. It is.
Although, speaking of the Mariners, them beating the A's yesterday. Now, what was it? They can't do something. So the Mariners are still in there spoiling it for other people too.
Well, that's great. I like that.
Yeah,
that's great.
So I mean, drag some people.
Drag people down with you. I mean,
especially
I think the A's are locked into a.
They are going to the postseason, but they can't. I don't know.
My guess is they probably cannot.
I wasn't really paying.
Take up another spot in the seeding.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think they're like they're only playing for a wild card spot or something like that now.
I don't think anybody else in the American League can
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. I heard that this morning. I was like,
Right.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I do like that. Not a big fan of the Mariners trying to start doing well
after they're
eliminated.
Right.
So that's fantastic.
Or like when they beat, what was it, Houston 13-0?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where were those bats?
Right? Where was that a month ago?
This is just the life of a Mariners fan here.
2 months ago.
The life of a Mariners fan here. I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Although, with them beating the A's yesterday, that was the first time in 96 games that the A's going into the 7th inning lost when they were leading.
Hey, you got to take some dubs. You got to take some W's when you can.
That's a pretty cool thing that doesn't mean anything for Mariners, but
you got to take some wins when you can, and I think that's kind of where we're at with the Mariners.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty disappointed in how the season ended. I'm pretty disappointed in how that all went down. But I think it's time to rebuild. How do you feel about not that it's time to rebuild, because it's been time to rebuild.
Yeah, it's been time to rebuild for the past 16 years.
And when I say it's time to rebuild, I kind of mean like, how do you feel about Nelson Cruz still being on the team next year with his contract coming up? Because the guy is a 6-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, an ALS Championship Series MVP.
Yeah, and he's batting well over 250.
He's batting 262 right now with 37 home runs and 95 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really say anything bad about Nelson Cruz, and everything that I've heard or read is that all the other players really like him, and he's really a positive guy to keep around. But the other thing to think about, if you're actually trying to rebuild your team, is you're gonna have to part ways with good players, because that's where the value is.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna get, it's going to be a really long time, or probably impossible, to rebuild your team if you just keep trading away, this guy that played 2 games, and then we sent him back down to AAA, and then we brought him up for half a game and sent him back down, and did all this stuff. Like, well, that's nice, but who cares?
Exactly. I totally agree with you on that. The fact that...
And the other thing you also have to remember is the reason that the Mariners got him for sort of a good price was that he also had a PED thing a couple years ago too, when we got him from Baltimore.
Him and Robinson Cano, I feel, are kind of guys that you can take trade value with. And maybe not Cano as much as Cruz because of his more recent PED scandal. But those are 2 guys that you got stock invested into your team, that it's time to start looking at another venue. Because DePito destroyed.
Oh, to get a Tawny?
Destroyed the farm team to get a Tawny.
And
he destroyed it. So now they have nothing there. Not that they have nothing there, but no.
They had significantly less.
Yeah, and it's kind of gross to think that, like, now what do you're stuck with these guys who are pushing 30.
And Nelson Cruz is pushing 40. I think he's.
I think Nelson Cruz is pushing 30, man.
I don't think so. I
think he's like 32, 33.
I think he's older than that.
Let's look it up. Nelson Cruz. He's 38. You're right. Rough, man. It is rough.
Yeah, so
and he still bats good. We just talked about how he's batting 262. with 93 RBIs. Like, that's phenomenal for a guy who's almost 40.
I mean, you can still bat for. I mean, because what? Arguably one of the best batters was Ted Williams, and he retired in 1963 or 64. But he joined the league in 1939.
Right.
So,
where do you go from there?
I mean, that's, and he didn't, it wasn't until, I think it was the 1960 season that he bat 400.
Okay.
So it was later in his career. And, so you can get a lot of value, or not value, but you can get a lot out of these older players. But in terms of trade value, I mean, another team might pick him up for a year or two. And
you're not signing a 4+ year contract with Nelson Cruz.
I wouldn't.
That's not an investment that I would take.
And so are the Mariners really going to get all that much for him? I mean, it's kind of like...
So you think that you keep him around until he's done?
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of tough. I mean, it's kind of the same thing you have with Hernandez. I mean, and unlike Nelson Cruz, Hernandez is coming off a terrible season.
Yeah, I think this is the worst season he's had in his career.
If it's not, it's
pretty
close.
damn close. It was pretty brutal to watch this season.
Well, and this season was the first time in his entire major league career that he lost his starting job.
Yeah, no, he actually got put down
in the
into a relief position.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
Now, granted, he was only there for one game.
It's still frustrating to watch. It's still... I mean, we're at this point where we've come close multiple seasons in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And how are we going to fix it is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know if it's trading Nelson Cruz, if it's getting rid of Felix Hernandez, if it's getting rid of...
But you still have to, think about it. As bad as it is to say, I mean, you gotta get rid of players with value.
I think, honestly, in my opinion...
I mean, I think Seager, I'd be worried if I was him. I mean, his
Seager doesn't really have... He has these long stints where he does super shitty and it fucks his average up for so much. It is not... I think Corey Seager is way better.
In terms of batting average.
Defensively, maybe Kyle Seager's... I wouldn't even say that. I don't know even... I feel like there was many times this season where I was listening to the radio and I heard Kyle Seager cop an error multiple times in games.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a 168-game season.
I hear
Error's
you.
going to happen.
I hear you. I feel there are other people on the team that have...
I mean, Mookie Betts has had errors this season.
Hey, and I'm not saying people don't get errors. What I'm saying is this... I feel like it's more consistent with Kyle Seager than more people on the team. What do you do with D. Gordon? You keep D. Gordon?
I'd keep D. Gordon.
I would keep D. Gordon also. Denard Span. I think you keep him too. That guy came in clutch.
But those are young players.
I hear you. I mean,
you can't just...
You got to go somewhere.
You have to go somewhere. And yes, you need to rebuild. But just getting rid of anybody and everybody with any kind of stat just for trade value isn't how you rebuild. You have to have guys that have been there before and done it.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here. I'm sitting here mind-boggled. I'm scratching my head.
I mean, if I had the answer, I wouldn't be going to a freaking 9-to-5 job like some fucking schmuck.
Hey,
I'd
hear
be
ya.
getting paid.
Nick Ernst. I'm not sure on the answer to that, Milton. I really am not sure. I would have to fact check that. But I'm not sure the answer to that. I'm not positive. I'm sorry. I wish I had more information on that. So I mean, I think we just kind of go. I don't know. And maybe keep. I might be wrong. No worries, bro. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I had more information there for you. Let's move on from the Mariners because it's just
depressing.
That conversation is just so frustrating, and I feel like I'm having it every single freaking year, and I don't like it. So the American League is locked, though. We're locked in the American League. We have Oakland, New York, Houston, Cleveland, Boston. Where do you sit with this?
Overall?
Yeah.
Houston's
You're still
gonna
taking
win?
Houston. All right. I actually jumped off of my Oakland train after looking at more stats that I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Oakland beating New York, Houston beating Cleveland, Boston beating Oakland, and then Houston and Boston meeting in the American League Series, and Houston going to the World Series.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I see that playing out too.
Yeah. And
I think it's going to be a repeat of last year.
I think I was definitely feeling Oakland because of their pitching staff there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But after watching how they did against the Mariners and watching the last couple games of the pitching staff and the rotation that they had, I didn't see how disciplined that bullpen was, if that makes sense.
Mountain Dew burps.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
And so I jumped off this Oakland train, guys. 2 weeks in a row, I was talking about how I thought Oakland was gonna surprise everybody. Hey, I was on that dark horse ride, but
and you might still be right.
I might still be right, but I'm shifting gears.
I mean, hell, Cleveland could
easily,
everybody.
yeah, for sure, absolutely.
I mean, any of these teams have a chance to
Everybody here has a chance.
Yeah.
In the American League.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the National League,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not even slotted any positions other than the number 1 seed for Chicago.
Yeah. The Cubs are going to the playoffs. But
And I think the Cubs are going to the World Series.
probably.
I'll go that far.
You're probably right.
We have as the 1-2 seed is Chicago, Atlanta, then the Dodgers at 3, Milwaukee at 4, and Colorado at 5. If it goes this way, this is the way I see it happening. Milwaukee beating Colorado, Atlanta beating the Dodgers, Chicago beating Milwaukee, Chicago beating Atlanta. Houston wins in 5 in the World Series, if that's the situation. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't know how you feel about that, but I just feel there's...
That sounds pretty good to me.
That sounds like just my... After looking at what I was looking at this week, there's just and I'm not even saying that Houston's going to sweep them. I just gave Chicago 1 game because they have to play in Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I've said for the past 2 weeks that it's going to be the Cubs and Houston in the World Series.
You're right.
And Houston's going to win.
Yeah.
For the 2nd year in a row. And I'm sticking with that.
I'm totally agreeing with you there. I just, after seeing what I saw in the last week and reading what I saw in the last week, I don't see any kind of other any other kind of way that this baseball breaks down.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean,
I'd
really like to see Milwaukee go to the World Series.
If anything, I could see Boston maybe beating Houston. Maybe.
I don't recall exactly the record after their regular season meetings, but after watching at least some of those games,
Houston's got Boston's number?
It seemed like they outplayed Boston.
Okay. All right.
I mean, and that's, hard to say to someone, as a Boston fan,
right.
With a team that is sitting at over 100 wins this season and 2 legitimate MVP candidates on their team, and
it's impressive to watch.
I'm not sure if he's done it. No, I don't think he has done it yet. What was it? I just got a text from Update. I'll look.
Okay.
It was something about Mookie Betts.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, Mookie Betts is going for a 30-30 club.
Okay. That's impressive.
Yeah. And JD Martinez can win Triple Crown. So, I mean, those two guys they're good.
It's been a good season for Boston.
It has.
It's been a great season for Boston. And it would be awesome to see Boston beat Houston because I
would love to see that. I just don't think.
I know you would like to see it. The only reason why I don't want to see Houston win again is because they're in the division of the Mariners.
Right, and
it hurts to watch people in our
win.
Yeah, it hurts.
And especially after making all those jokes, like, 4 years
now
ago,
the Mariners aren't going to have to worry about being in last anymore.
Right, and
now Houston's got fucking World Series rings, so.
And probably two.
Wouldn't surprise me, man.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
All right. Well, shit, dude. How are you feeling about these roughing the passer calls, man?
Not good.
Not good.
And for a couple reasons. One, because we saw it in the Green Bay Bears game, where Green Bay, I mean, they had him done. The game was over, and then Clay Matthews gets the sack, kind of, and does everything he can to not hurt him. And they still throw the flag, and the drive continues.
Yep.
And I don't think it's going to be... And that's happened 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row, Clay Matthews has gotten a flag.
And I don't think it's going to be long before you see quarterbacks taking a page from
LeBron James's book
or from soccer, period, and name one person, and even if they try and tackle him correctly,
flops
or whatever, flops, grabs the guy by the jersey and tries to pull him on top of him and try and draw the foul.
This is one of the major things that I like about football is it's hard to flop. It's harder to flop.
Yeah.
This roughing the passer call is starting to make it a little bit more easy.
Oh, it's the water, hot water.
Making it a little bit more easy for people to pull those fouls.
Right.
I think Clay Matthews, I haven't seen a tackle that he made that I thought was roughing the passer. Russell Wilson in that Seahawks game even got tackled where they threw a flag against, I can't remember who it was, but somebody on Dallas. And the roughing the passer call, and I didn't think it. I thought it was a fair sack. Thought it was a fair tackle. I really think, honestly, if the guy's thrown the ball and he's already let go of the ball for, I don't know, maybe 2 seconds. Not specifically 2 seconds, but a general amount of time that this dude does not have the ball, and you tackle him, then they should be roughing the passer. If it's helmet to helmet, it should be roughing the passer.
Agreed.
And that's it. If you tackle the guy low, you tackle the guy with your shoulder.
Right. I mean,
it's a sack. And leave it at that.
There's a correct way to tackle, and there's a wrong way to tackle. And, I mean, if you just tackle him the same way you would anybody else, just let him play.
Anybody who has ever played any kind of football has watched that video about leading with your head.
Mm-hmm.
That video solely alone teaches people how to or not to tackle specific people, let alone specifically a quarterback. I think the NFL is trying way too hard to prevent these concussions that continue to happen. And I think it's kind of bullshit.
You're not going to either. I mean,
it's a collision.
That's the nature of the game.
It's not just a physical sport. It's a collision sport.
Right.
It's more than physical.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna throw these flags for roughing the passer the way that they've been thrown, I think that
I think you're gonna lose fans.
I think.
Because no one knows what it is.
Well, not only that, but did you watch the Monday Night Football game? That Connor with that stiff arm?
Uh-huh.
That stiff arm that he did and got that guy's face. If the defender did that to him, that would have been a penalty.
Yeah.
But Connor can do that because he's stiff arming him?
Yep.
Call that fucking call. These roughing the passer calls are ridiculous, and I think we need to move on from that. I think we need to go back to where it was last year, maybe even a couple years before that.
And but the other thing is there's no standard.
There is no standard.
You know, I mean, when you know what a horse collar is. You know when somebody's holding. You know, I mean, granted, those are more obvious, or they can be, but
everybody knows what it looks like.
Right.
With this new roughing the passer
they
call,
don't know
nobody
what it
knows.
looks like.
Not
It's
even
like,
the players.
Yeah.
Not even the players.
And what game was that? I forget which one it was, but the guy hesitated to tackle the quarterback because he didn't want.
And he fucked up his arm.
I don't know.
Was it his arm? He got injured because of it.
He
got injured because of it.
And the quarterback also was able to run for the first down.
Yeah. Ridiculousness.
And instead of just tackling him for a loss, he was like, well, if I get a roughing the passer, then
he
that
gets the
advances
first
the ball,
down
we
anyway.
get the first down anyway, and
why
drive
even
continues.
have a defense?
Yeah.
I don't know. This roughing the passer stuff is ridiculous, and I think we need to come up with a better standard, or we need to go back to what it was last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, even when the players are anticipating it, and it's changing the pace of the game. It's changing how it's played.
It's bad. It's bad.
And no one knows what it is. I mean, that's the most irritating part.
It's bad. So I totally want to talk about what Chaz is talking about. Chaz says, how about Jimmy G tearing up his knee? Just got out of bounds, dummy. Just go out of bounds. I totally agree. That was a terrible move by Jimmy Garoppolo, ending his season. And I also want to know if that was just a dumb play, dumb injury, unnecessary. I think you just go out of bounds or even slide. Just slide.
I didn't actually see him injured. I listened to it on the radio.
He tried to do a juke move, and as he was juking, his knee gave out and he tore his shit. I think that right there destroys San Francisco's season. Do you think that they need to keep CJ Beathard, or do you think they need to start trading for a new quarterback?
Well, he was our quarterback last year, wasn't he?
I believe so. I'm not 100% positive,
And they didn't win a single game with him, so I would start trading for a new one.
You start trading for a new one? I think you tank this season. I think you... That was my quarterback. Yes, dumb. Yeah, it was horrible. I think you take the season if you're San Francisco. Because at this point, Richard Sherman's out. Richard Sherman hurt himself.
And their running back.
And their running back is...
Or running backs, right?
Yeah.
Both of them get hurt?
Yeah. They're out, dude. Like, the woes and troubles and injuries that are happening in San Francisco is unreal. I think you tank the season and you start working towards maybe getting some new players, some fresh faces.
Which, I mean, especially if you're a 49ers fan, I mean, they did over the last 2 years. Get a lot of new guys.
Injuries, yeah.
And, have made, I mean, not as big as the Rams, but they've made some pretty big plays to get, some good
names. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And then this happens, like, just out of the blue.
It sucks.
That's a rough break.
That sucks. It's really bad for anybody in San Francisco.
Yeah, and, I agree with you. I mean, you just kind of...
I think you tank the season, and I think you try to look for...
As hard as it is to just give up on the season 3 weeks into it, but...
I think it's time to tank the season there for San Francisco. Unfortunately, as it sits with me, I think you tank the season, you go and try and get some new quick early draft picks, bring back Cap. I also wouldn't mind seeing that. As much as I dislike Kaepernick, and I'm not going to get in this huge Kaepernick conversation.
Not the show we're having.
Not where we're going. I wouldn't mind seeing Kaepernick get a quarterback job again. I think he wasn't horrible, but the reason why he doesn't play in the NFL anymore, in my opinion, is because he wasn't doing good. He wasn't doing well.
Yeah, his last season.
I think he's had plenty of time to recuperate from whatever, from all of the mishaps, and I think they need to keep CJ on the bench, and I think this guy needs to learn a little bit before this guy's playing in more and more games before he's starting, and that's just guys learn from the bench.
Yeah,
guys learn from the bench. I don't know, man.
I don't know what you do if you're San Francisco. I mean,
it's a rough life and a rough load for San Francisco there. Roughing the passers calls we talk about. Hey, man. I want to actually sit here and make a statement about the Buffalo Bills. And I want to say it here right now. We sat here and trashed.
Yeah, we did.
The Buffalo Bills.
Sure did.
Even people in the chat were trashing the Buffalo Bills, guys.
It was hard not to.
But they came into Minnesota and they smashed the Vikings. And I take back what I said. I think the Buffalo Bills might actually be a little bit better of a team than we gave them credit for. I don't think that was attributed to the Vikings being a bad team. I think it actually had to do with the Bills being better than what we gave them credit for. I'm taking back what I said because we were pretty harsh on the Bills, man.
Bro,
we were pretty harsh on the Bills.
They had a player quit at halftime.
Hey,
straight up retired.
Hey, I hear you. Glad nobody took my bet against the Bills. I hear that. That's my team, so why are you trashing my guys? Hey, Dulcie doesn't know. She doesn't even know where the Bills are from. But, I want to take back what I said. I think I should have taken your bet, Chaz. And you guys were everybody. I even read the chat over again. I saw it. I think you or Devin said the Vikings by 1,000,000. Crazy game, craziness. I can't believe it happened. And I'm just flabbergasted by it.
Yeah, I could not. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming either.
I don't think anybody did.
And that's why we have an 8-9 record, man, in our football picks. We're sitting here at 8-9. We did really bad last week, man. So, are you ready to redeem yourself?
Oh, I don't know, but I'll give it a try.
You give it a try?
Sure.
All right, man. So, we'll go ahead and try to redeem ourselves here. The games for week 4 are upon us, starting Thursday. It will be Minnesota versus Buffalo. Ding dong. Okay. All right. She knew where they were from. It was Minnesota.
Where's Buffalo?
Where is Buffalo? Do you know where Buffalo's at? I'm just kidding. The Vikings versus the Rams.
Give you time to Google it.
Thursday night football. Tell me what you're thinking. Vikings, Rams.
I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams are third in defense and third in offense and sixth in defense. Interesting stat that I read. When a team is flying through 2 time zones or more to the west for a Thursday night game since 2006 when it was introduced, all teams that have traveled west are 0-10. 0-10. I'm taking the Rams 45-21. You feel the same? Rams?
Yep, Rams.
All right. Jets and Jaguars.
Ooh. Hell. The Jags lost last week to the Titans.
Yeah, they did.
But I'm gonna stick with Jacksonville.
You gonna stick with Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think they're a good team.
Okay. The Jets have won the last 3 meetings, and the Jaguars are 4th in defense. So, and I also feel that coming off of a loss from Tennessee, that they're gonna want to redeem themselves. But I think
so are the Jets after losing to the Browns.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. The Jets are 8th in defense also, so it's going to be a pretty close game, I think. I'm also.
It's going to be a good game, but I'm taking Jacksonville.
I'm also taking Jacksonville. I'm also going to take Jacksonville.
Okay.
I think the Rams giving it to the Vikings. I hear ya. I think so too. Finns and Pats. Finns and Pats. Tell me how you're feeling about this. This is going to be a funky one because the Patriots are having one of their worst starts to a season in quite a while. Whether the earlier stat that I gave is true or not, they're 1-2. The Dolphins are 3-0. Surprising. Shocking. Mind-boggling. How are you feeling about this matchup?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really watched any Miami games, so I don't. I mean, I guess their record would indicate that they're doing pretty good, but I don't know anything about their defense, offense, anything like that. So I would just be taking a shot in the dark.
So who are you going with?
I'm gonna stick with Miami, I guess.
You're gonna go with Miami?
Sure.
Okay.
Just because screw them.
Let's go screw them. Okay. All right. What I was thinking is that with New England coming off of their second straight loss, coming off of it was a Thursday night game that they played, right? Was it Thursday or Monday night? No, Monday night was
Thursday.
Tampa. Thursday night was Tampa.
And
Or Monday night was Tampa. So they're playing Thursday. I think after being put on a show of everybody watching football instead of everybody, bouncing around from one show to another, the Patriots are going to come back with some anger, some heat. I think the Patriots are ready to take on the Dolphins. Not often have the Miami Dolphins beat the Patriots in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough.
Oh, they're playing in...
They're playing in Foxborough.
Playing
in Foxborough. They will be playing at home.
Oh, and they did just lose to the Lions.
And they lost to the Lions.
That's going to add some fuel to that fire, too.
I am taking the Patriots in this one, but I don't think it's going to be a big blowout. I think Miami's going to give them a run for their money. I think it'll probably be somewhere like 21-14. I think one score game. I'm taking the Patriots.
Okay. No, I respect that rationale.
Okay.
I'm not going to flip-flop, though.
All right. Okay. Eagles-Titans. Eagles stack up on paper in almost every single stat better than the Titans, other than rushing. I think the Eagles come out on top 28-10.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd give that one to the Eagles, too.
The Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay. Eagles?
I just, I don't know what to really expect from Tennessee.
Yeah, they're always
they're kind of
wild
all over
card,
the place.
baby.
Yeah. I got the break lines.
I got the break lines. Wild card, baby.
Yeah, they're definitely the Charlie of football.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like the matchup just for our picks because it is Tennessee, but I feel Philadelphia is just stacked better on paper everywhere against Tennessee. I'm taking Philly. Houston, Indianapolis. Okay. Texans are 8th in offense, and the Colts are 16th in defense. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, and Indianapolis has had.
I like spritzers, Dulcie. Go ahead.
They've had some pretty decent games, but I really like Deshaun Watson. So okay. I'm going to stick with the Texans again for the second week in a row. Don't do me wrong.
All right, I'm feeling you also. I'm thinking a 16-20 loss for Indy against Philly, or against
Houston,
excuse me. And Indy will come out on top there.
Indy's coming out on top.
I think Indy's coming out on top.
Okay.
I think Indy's going to win. Indianapolis gets the W. I think I kind of said that all fucked up.
Yeah, that was a little hard to follow.
Okay.
But...
Indianapolis wins.
Okay.
Bills, Packers. Packers are 18th in offense. The Bills 11th in defense. The Bills came in smashing Minnesota last week.
And the Packers did have trouble with Minnesota.
The Packers had trouble with Minnesota. How you feeling about Buffalo today? Where's your pick at?
You know what? I'm going with the Packers.
Okay. I'm also coming back. I feel the Packers are trying to come back from this crazy start to a season, and I feel that the Packers will win 31-28. Packers come out on top. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, there's...
Aaron Rodgers is going to come out with something to prove. I think they're going to blast. I think they're going to blast him.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to just destroy yardage-wise. But the Bills will get a bunch of turnovers to keep them into this game. That's how I'm feeling on this.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that guy, he just makes stuff happen. So...
Absolutely. Okay, so moving on to, I think it's the Lions and Cowboys and the Bears. Oh my. The Lions and Cowboys. How you feeling about this? Give me a pick.
Lions, Cowboys.
The Lions just won, and the Cowboys lost to Seattle. The Lions are 9th in offense, and the Cowboys are 30th in offense. The Lions are 7th in defense, where the Cowboys are 31st in passing. So on paper, this stacks up for the Lions.
Yeah. I hate Jerry Jones. I'm going.
They hate Jerry Jones. I'm taking the Lions as well.
The Crypt Keeper just freaks me out.
I think finally something's happening there in Detroit after whatever happened in week 1 and 2. That they're finally getting all of their fine knit needles tuned and pulled. All the strings are going right.
And Detroit needs something.
Detroit does need something. Detroit needs it in their lives. Detroit wins 24-10. Buccaneers versus the Bears. Give it to me. Best offense in the league going against the 5th best defense.
Who are the Bears and the Buccaneers?
Yep.
Dang.
Right?
That's that's going to be a good game to watch.
It's going to be a great game to watch. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on it.
Yeah.
You want my opinion on this one?
My gut says the Buccaneers, but I think I'm going to go with the Bears.
The Bears? You're going with the Bears. Okay. So I think Fitzmagic is going to come out and throw a 300-yard game. I think he's going to throw a couple touchdowns with that. I think the Bucs are going to come out on top 28-21, and Fitzpatrick is going to prove why he should be the starter over Jameis Winston.
I hope you're right. I mean, we're gonna watch a great defense and a great offense.
It's gonna be a great game.
It's gonna
even if the Bears win, I would like to see that defense doing something nice because Khalil Mack is proven why that boy should have been paid. He's proven why that boy should have been paid.
Oh yeah.
Tell me why you didn't pay him, John Gruden. Tell me why.
Because they wanted to keep Derek Carr.
Oh, yeah. That bad alternator over there.
Yeah. Ooh, his Aztec won't start.
Terrible. All right, Bengals-Falcons. The pretty even on paper. 16th in offense for the Bengals and 12th for the Falcons. 26th and 27th in defense with the Bengals above the Falcons. 11th and 12th in passing. Falcons on top, and 22nd and 21st in rushing with the Falcons on top again. Tell me how this stacks up for you. Tell me how you're feeling.
I like the Falcons.
You like the Falcons? I like the Falcons as well, but I'm feeling it in Cincinnati. I like how, Andy Dalton's been hitting A.J. Green. I like all the connection there, and I read a stat online saying that Matt Ryan has a losing record against AFC teams. So I am going to go with the Bengals on this one. The Bengals win 28-14.
I'm just not going to vote for a Ginge.
Got to send them back where they came from.
That's right.
Seahawks Cardinals. All right. I want to come out and say I was totally wrong about the Seahawks last week. They impressed me. This matchup is gross on paper for everybody, though. Everything but Seattle's defense is above 20th in the league. Both teams are looking gross on paper. The Seahawks looked good against Dallas.
They did.
But in all
they rushed the ball well as well.
They did. They held on to the ball pretty good this week. Chris Carson.
Chris Carson. He didn't get sleepy at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
So he was able to
Earl Thomas didn't get a headache, guys.
Yeah.
He played. And he got 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And he also bowed to Dallas' sideline.
Yeah, and
what was that about?
Yeah, right after he got that, what was his first or second interception? Yeah, and then got the taunting call.
Why are we doing this, Earl? Are you really trying to make a shot for going to play for Dallas? You just don't like Seattle that much? I mean, we value you here. Maybe the organization doesn't, but our fans do.
Yeah, well, fans don't pay your bills. So.
Fans don't pay your bills. Do they, though? Where does the Seahawks money come from?
I have no idea. Microsoft.
All right, so gross on paper, this is going to be a rather boring game, in my opinion. I think it's going to end up 14-9 with the Seahawks on top. I was talking about the Seahawks going 0-5, and they proved me wrong after last week. I'm feeling the Seahawks again. This is an offense that needs to start getting Doug Baldwin back, man.
Yeah, that's definitely hurting them.
They need Doug Baldwin back. Tyler Lockett is killing it on the long ball, but you're not going to be able to do that day in and day out.
No, people are going to they're going to figure that out pretty quick. But even at that, I'm still going with the Seahawks.
Going with the Seahawks. So we're both picking the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. Finally, we can agree about the Seahawks. Browns and Raiders, baby. Browns got their first win.
Yep.
They stack up 13th in defense against Oakland's 6th in offense. Oakland is number 6 in offense after 3 weeks. I believe in Baker Mayfield, and I think the stats don't reflect how he's going to turn this team around. I'm taking the Browns again, 24-21 in a close game in Oakland. How do you feel about that?
It's not in Oakland. They're playing in England.
Are they playing in England?
I believe so.
Oh,
If it's not this game, it's the next Raiders game.
Okay, well, even if that's the case, Oakland's the home team. That's where I was going on.
Okay.
But
I don't know.
That is a huge factor that I did not put into account.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, they played. I mean, I don't think the record for the Raiders really reflects how good they are.
Been. Yeah,
I mean,
totally agree.
They've had some really close games.
Oh yeah, games that they could have won easily. But have cost stupid mistakes by stupid plays have cost them games.
Yeah. I was going to stick with the Browns until they got a win, and they got a win. So I think I'm going to go with the Raiders.
You're taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders.
All right. I like it, man. I like it. Changing it up. 49ers versus Saints versus the Giants. All right. The Saints are a high-octane offense with a long ball threat. The G-men are not ready defensively for what Drew Brees has in store for them this week. I think the Saints dominate the Giants 45-14.
No idea about the score, but I agree with you. The Saints are going to win.
Saints are going to win.
Yes.
I think the G-men are not ready for Drew Brees and that long
think
ball threat.
Many people are ready for Drew Brees.
Definitely not that Giants defense. I don't think that the Giants stack up even close enough to, and even if it is the offense that is going to keep the Giants in the game, I don't think that the defense has it in them to stop Drew Brees' long drives.
I agree.
So, Saints over Giants. That's how I'm feeling about that.
Yep.
Let's move on to the 49ers versus the Bolts. Go ahead.
I mean, with all the injuries to the 49ers, and I'm going San Diego.
I am also... No, it's LA Chargers now.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Sherman out, Jimmy G out, Marcus Peters out, Barea questionable. Even though those guys could have been in the game, I would still take the Chargers 5th ranked in offense and 10th in passing. I'm going to take the Chargers 31-6. I'm going to do this the Niners that dirty. Ravens versus Steelers. Give it to me.
I'm feeling Steelers.
You feeling Steelers?
Yeah, I thought they had a good game against the Buccaneers. I as much as I don't like Ben Roethlisberger and never will, him and Antonio Brown, that's where I'm going with that one.
I like it. I just feel that the Steelers have had some bad miscues here and there.
They tied the Browns. So.
They tied the Browns. I feel that the Steelers are not all that they're cracked up to be this season as they were seasons past. And I like the Ravens' defense this year. I'm taking the Ravens 17-10. You heard it here, boys. Ravens over Steelers. I don't like to give Alex some help there, but... All right, Monday Night Football with the Panthers and the Redskins being on a bye week. This only leaves one more game. Chiefs versus the Broncos. Give it to me.
Chiefs.
Yep. High scoring, fire throwing Pat Mahomes right now. Yeah. I don't think there is any way that this offense is getting stopped. Though they have a shady defense, I'm also taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just... The Denver defense is strong, but I
don't think it's strong enough to stop what the Chiefs have going right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are just having a fire sale. They're just steamrolling people.
Heat. It's all heat coming from... the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs are freaking killing it. I think this is a bold statement, and I'm not going to stick by it 6 weeks from now probably. But if things roll the way that they're rolling right now, I think we're looking at the Chiefs and the Rams in a Super Bowl.
Okay.
How do you like that? How do you like damn apples?
Time will definitely tell whether Patrick Mahomes is the real deal or just a flash in the pan, but right now.
3 weeks isn't very long to establish that, but if things continue to roll the way they're rolling, I'm feeling the Rams, and I'm feeling the Chiefs, and I'm feeling a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl with the Rams coming out on top as it looks right now.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable making a Super Bowl prediction in week 3 yet, or week 4. But
I like it. This is how I'm looking. Obviously, I'm picking the two stronger teams of both conferences.
Yeah. Well, that's usually how the Super Bowl is determined. But...
Yeah. Okay.
Just saying.
We're an hour and 11 minutes into this.
Uh-huh.
And I need to use the bathroom. Do you want to take a quick break? A little 5-minute hiatus?
Okay.
All right. We're going to take a quick hiatus, guys. Stare at the couch. Stare at the wall. All of y'all. Wait till it drops down my ball. No? Hey, ski. No? All right. We'll be back. Hey, ski, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's good.
Stretchy. Nice.
Not much at all.
All right. Well, it wasn't quite 5 minutes, but you feel all stretched out?
Oh yeah.
All ready to go?
Ready to sit.
Okay. Okay. Oh, skeet, motherfucker. You're not down with Lil Jon?
No.
Oh, damn. All right, man. I want to freaking give you guys my take on that Joe Flacco conversation we were having last week, man. I actually went and did my damn research because I felt I was getting attacked about calling Joe Flacco a Hall of Famer.
Speak your truth, man.
My truth is, for him being selected in a 2008 draft, and him delivering 7 winning seasons, 7 out of 10, with a combined 10 playoff win in 3 AFC championships and a Super Bowl trophy, how can Flacco not be a Hall of Famer? How can he not? He's currently had exactly 200 passing touchdowns. If he gets 15 more, he'll pass pro NFL Hall of Famer Kurt Warner at 208. If Flacco remains a starter for the next couple of seasons, I could definitely see him passing Steve Young at 232. A 6-time Pro Bowl selection, Donovan McNabb at 234. To crack the all-time 30 list. Can you not argue with that? Can you tell me? How is that not Hall of Fame status? He has Super Bowl MVP honors. Right? Don't think so?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
Oh. Well, I mean, that happened, so...
Okay. Flacco has an active 8-game post streak with at least 2 touchdown passes, which is dating back to 2011. Also, Flacco has played in 15 career playoff games, posting a passer rating of 92.1, higher of an astounding 9 times, Taking out his first 2 seasons, Flacco had a 92.1 passer rating out of 9 out of 10 playoff games, which would be his, thanks to his touchdown to interception ratio of 24-4, which is great. That's awesome. 24-4, 24 touchdowns in playoff games, 4 interceptions. Flacco's thrown for 35,000 yards, 35,780 yards since being drafted in 2008. And if he passes for another 3,000 yards this upcoming season, he'll reach the number 21 in all time. If Flacco can be full-time starting for the next 2 seasons, he'll likely pass Hall of Fame quarterbacks Johnny Unitas at 4,239 and Joe Montana at 40,239 and 40,551 Joe Montana for the 18th spot. Joe Flacco has completed 3,267 passes in his career, which is surprisingly more than the all-pro quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who only has 3,188. Flacco is shown to be a true warrior in the playoffs, defeating quarterbacks like Tom Brady 2 times, and Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. If you guys don't think Joe Flacco is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, there's your stats. That's on paper, man. That's what that man's done. How is that guy not going to be, maybe not a first-round quarterback, a Hall of Famer, but those stats don't lie.
No.
I had to defend myself. I'm sorry. I felt the need, and I didn't have the stats to back it up. But there they are. You have them. They're right there. Joe Flacco will be in the Hall of Fame. And if you disagree with me, tell me why.
I don't disagree with you.
Anybody in the chat want to disagree with me again like last week? Sorry. But I just felt I needed to defend myself. You feel like talking about the UFC here?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. All right. So the NHL, October 3rd, first season puck drop.
Nice.
I'm really excited about it. And I keep saying hockey. and I'm going to continue to say it. But 2020 is the Seattle team expansion, the Key Arena rebuild. I read on USA today that Seattle Council approved privately funded $700 million renovation for the Key Arena.
Yeah, that was just was either end of last week or the beginning of this week.
Of this week, yep, it was the beginning of this week, clearing one of the last major hurdles for them to actually get the NHL franchise.
I think that was the last one.
No, there's one more.
Oh, is there?
And what it is to bring the proposition that we've gotten the season ticket drive taken care of.
Yeah.
We've gotten the renovation taken care of. The renovation got voted 8-0. So everybody was unanimously wanting this team to be brought to Seattle. So now we just have to go to the board and governor of NHL directors.
Okay.
And say, this is what we have for you. An 8-0 vote. The season ticket drive. The fans want it. The city wants it. We have a stadium.
Minutes.
Yeah. 12 minutes. We have the stadium. The stadium's getting rebuilt.
And it took, just in the season ticket drive, it took Seattle 12 minutes to do it. And it took Las Vegas, 6 months?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? We're that close to Canada that even Canadians want to vote for us to get this damn team, man. That's what I'm talking about.
If you want to trust Canadians.
Why has Seattle not had a hockey team since the Metropolitans, man? That
was 100 years ago.
This is stupid. It's dumb. Seattle needs to get this hockey team 2020. I'm super excited about it. I cannot wait. I'm actually going to a Thunderbirds game in October. I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
So I also read online that there's an over-under, and I'm not going to read the numbers because the numbers don't really matter. This is just Vegas odds. So the names that are on a list, yeah, right? The names that are available and in the running for the Seattle hockey franchise team that could be coming, not officially yet, but could be coming in 2020, are the Emeralds, the Totems, the Rainiers, and I don't know why you would name their team the Rainiers after you already have a team named the Rainiers.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me. The Evergreens, the Krakens, the Renegades, the Sea Lions, the Firebirds, the Cougars, don't know why. We have the Cougars already. The Eagles, what are we, like a high school football team? Like, why is all of these sounding like teams that...
These are the dumbest names.
Stupid. The Eagles, the Seals, the Whales, and the Sockeyes.
Yeah, this sounds like...
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You might as well call them the friggin' Ladybugs.
No, Ladybugs, right?
Yeah,
I could almost get down with...
this isn't the Bad News Bears.
I can almost get down with the Kraken. I kind of like Kraken.
That's kind of cool, but...
I can get down with that. I don't really like the Sockeyes or the Whales or the Seals, Eagles, Cougars. But, I mean, I can kind of get down on Krakens.
I mean, 3 of those are already team names in the state.
Yeah. Stupid, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the list, man. That's what I got. That's what I read that is favorited out of all of the names that have been presented for this NHL franchise expansion. This is what has come up.
Ugh.
Are you disappointed in all of it? You don't see one that you're kind of like...
No, I don't like any of them.
What would you name the team? Seattle Copenhagen?
Anything else, sure. That's fine with me.
What would you name the team, though? Anything else?
What would
What would you name the team? If it was your team, what would you name it?
I don't really like coming up with names. I just want to talk shit.
You just want to talk shit?
That's what I do.
The Seattle Televisions?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I love Lamp.
You might as well just call them Shiny Plains or something.
Shiny Plains.
This is dumb.
I can kind of get down with the Krakens, though.
I guess if I had to pick one of these... Yeah, I mean, Emeralds, that's dumb. Isn't there already... Isn't there already a hockey team named the Totems in Tacoma?
I think they were the Sabertooths. But there isn't a hockey team in Tacoma anymore. There used to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they were the Sabertooths.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Anyway,
and
all stupid names.
Reindeer's dumb.
All in retrospect, all stupid names. But that's what was presented when I read online the possibility of names.
I'll just be happy if there's a team. I really don't care what it's called.
You know, I feel it too. I'm ready for a hockey team here.
I mean, hell, just call them the Sonics.
I
already got the shirts.
Yeah, bring them back. I like it. Oh. So I read online that Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors are coming to play in the Key Arena, a preseason game this season.
I think I heard something about this too. Now, if they're going to start the renovations, though, how's that going to work?
Well, that's not supposed to be until 2020, so I'm not really sure how.
I thought they were supposed to start by the end.
Play by 2020. The preseason for basketball starts in like 3 days, or it might even be going on right now.
Okay.
It's somewhere in October, because I read online that in October Kevin Durant's making his comeback to Seattle. Bring him back. Bring him back.
That would be pretty cool.
I would like to go to that game. I wouldn't mind seeing Kevin Durant again.
I'm sure that game's probably already sold out.
Oh yeah, for sure. How are you feeling about anything in the NBA right now?
Anything in the NBA? I don't really care.
You don't really
as long
care?
as the Lakers do shitty.
So the Lakers do shitty. I'm off the Cleveland hating bandwagon.
Right, now it's on to LA.
Might as well hate LA now. I don't hate the Lakers as a franchise. I just hate specific people on that team.
I wonder who that could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't make a Space Jam movie.
Oh my god.
Trying to be like Mike Too Hard. It's just a song, bro.
Yeah.
You don't have to take his number in his movie career.
Well, at least you'll never be Rookie of the Year.
Right? Too late for that.
Why
don't you try your hand in baseball too, you freaking douche? Oh my god. Trying so hard to be Mike.
And never will be.
Never will be.
Ever.
I don't care how many rings you win, man.
No. Right now you're not
even... Sue Bird's better than you, bro.
Yeah. And now I'm not talking shit about Sue Bird.
That chick can ball.
Yeah, she can. Woo.
Sue Bird's better than LeBron James.
Yeah.
Rings don't lie, baby.
And
win percentage.
Yeah, she has a better winning percentage too. So, and at least just as entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I mean, at least she doesn't flop around.
Right?
Somebody still does that. Air conditioning went out.
Oh,
cramping!
Meanwhile, oh man, who is that? What was it 2-3 years ago? And I think it was in the playoffs. I can't remember what team it was. That dude come back, got a rebound, and landed, and his knee just exploded. Ugh, that was a bad one. That was rough to watch.
No, I'm not 100% positive on what you're talking about.
Yeah, he like landed weird for coming down for a rebound and like snapped his leg, and it was bad.
It was gnarly. Was it the Celtics?
Nah,
at the beginning of the season,
don't think so.
Hayward went for a rebound and when he went for the rebound, he landed on his leg. But that was at the beginning of the season, not towards the end.
I think it was towards the end. I mean, this is several years ago.
Oh, that was last season. I was talking about last season.
No, this was a couple years ago, and it wasn't just like he twisted his ankle, like straight up bone was sticking through the skin. Like,
dude, that was a college game.
Was it a college game?
It was a college game. And it was for Louisiana, and the dude's leg was like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Maybe we're talking about the same thing. Maybe something happened similar in the NBA, but I think it was Louisville, and I think the guy, and I think his name was Ware, and I think his bone was straight sticking out of his leg.
Yeah, I just remember watching the video, and I was like,
brutal stuff.
That is, ugh.
All right, so I kind of want to end on a topic that may be boring.
All right, then. I'll get a pillow.
We can finish up on this. I don't know if you kept up with it at all, but I didn't really keep up with it, but I saw it. How do you feel about Tiger Woods winning his first championship?
Hey, nice. I kind of
heard about that.
I didn't hear that he had won, but I did kind of hear throughout the weekend that hey, Tiger's making a comeback. He's what, like 3 strokes above or below, or however it's judged in golf. And
I don't know golf enough to even really speak about it, but I just saw it online and I
think
read
that's
it.
Awesome.
That's great.
Good for Tiger Woods.
And I want to see Tiger do better.
I do too.
I like
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I love Tiger Woods. What is not to like about Tiger Woods? You know?
Well, I mean, unless you're his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Wow. But, I mean, as an athlete, as, taking his personal life out of the picture.
Making golf entertaining.
Yeah.
Tiger wins, and I like it. When Tiger wins, we all win.
I wouldn't even go so far as entertaining, but semi-watchable.
Damn.
Which, other than
okay.
Happy Gilmore, is probably the most exciting thing to happen in golf. In my opinion.
I like it. Hey, there you go. So. Hey, it's all good. It's all good, man. I just wanted to talk about that and basically say, it's awesome he's winning, and when Tiger wins, I feel like we all win.
And it's been a while
for
Tiger Woods.
And he needed it.
Don't remember exactly how long, but it's been many years.
Many years. Many years. Hey, that's an hour and 30 minutes for us. Hour and 31 minutes. New record. We're breaking the record. We're breaking the sound barrier here, guys.
About talking about golf.
It's almost supersonic. Oh! Bring him back. Okay. That's going to be a wrap for us today, guys. Thanks for everybody who showed up. Anybody who is watching on Facebook, you should start looking up the Twitch channel, because I'm going to start transitioning from using this Facebook Live to actually using Twitch, because I can start making effects and stuff in Twitch. And I'm going to start doing that here coming up within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we might transition from not using Facebook to just be using Twitch. So if you guys are actually following our page, I've been sharing the Twitch channel. Check out the Twitch channel. Go and subscribe. Go follow, go do whatever. Make sure you guys start watching us on Twitch, because I'm going to start transitioning us from Facebook to Twitch.
It just looks nicer, too.
It does. It looks way prettier over here than up here. So
as pretty as we can look.
I know. It's rough. It's pretty rough. Yeah. But, we're going to start transitioning from one platform to the other. And I'm going to start taking all of our videos and chopping them up into YouTube videos. And we have a YouTube channel, we have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, and we have a Facebook. Check them all out. Talk Sports Interference, or Talk Interference Sports.
I haven't learned something. So.
Shit. Talk Interference Sports. I fucked that up. But yeah, so we have all of those platforms. Come over onto Twitch. Follow us there. Guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching. And hopefully we don't go 8 and 9 in our picks this week.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add?
No.
All right, guys.
Good.
Have a good week.
Later.
See you next week. Bye.